Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for this episode 15 here on Sudbury with me, Farmer Murphy. Well, it's September 1st here on the farm, and I know I said I was going to bring you back in when the soybeans were ready to harvest, but that is not the case. They're not ready till next month, but we've got some work to do this month that I wanted to share with you. Now, I am standing in the middle of what was once our oats field here, and I was so focused on the canola last month that I almost totally missed that our oats was ready to harvest too. I just happened to notice it when I was driving by it on the way to sell some cheese. So it's a good thing that we were going to use it for animal food and mineral feed, so we weren't concerned about its grade. But I think it still ended up being grade B in any event. But I did get this harvested last month, and I mulched it, and I also put 2 layers of digestate on it, thinking it would be ready to seed this month with our green rye. And I missed something else, hard to believe. But this field needs lime. So what I did is I dug out our Braydell out of the shed. We haven't used that for quite a while on here. And the last time we used it was for fertilizing. We've never done any liming that I can recall. So we are going to take it and throw some lime in it here. And we are going to lime this field. Now it did have fertilizer in it. I emptied that out and I just stored it in our shed down there. We are going to go to the bulk buy station here and fill it up with lime. Oh, you know what? We should put our hazards on. You don't have beacons on this tractor, but should probably at least have our hazards on when we're pulling this big thing down the road. So after we get it limed though, because I've already mulched it, we should probably either cultivate it or discarrow it or do something to it to work that lime in before we seed. Then we can seed green rye, and we also have grass ready to go again. And I think we're going to turn it to silage once again because we still have 142 bales of hay. So we are in no real need of hay right at the moment. So those are all the things we have to do this month. So a little bit of a list, that's for sure. Oh, and we can't forget, we need to figure out too if we can spread our digestate this month, or otherwise we'll have to use chemical fertilizer on our grass fields. That's another thing to determine. So, few things to do here on the farm, but we are going to kick it off with this lime cinematic. So I will get back to the field and you folks can sit back and enjoy the tunes. Well, that job is done. I hope you enjoyed that cinematic. I must admit that went by fairly quickly. I had to be on my toes for that one. But we're down here at the shop with our forage harvester because once again I have rented this all crop header. Now, this is a header I had problems with when I tried to use it with turning on the field. But when I was using it with course play, it didn't seem to have any issue. But this forage harvester has had an update since we used it last. And so we're going to give it a try one more time. And so that's what we're going to go do next. But you'll notice there's another piece of gear sitting here. This nifty looking Vaderstad disc harrow, 6.3 meters, so that's pretty big for us. And in fact, it's too big for the equipment we currently have, but this is what the shop recommended that we use to make a good seed bed to work in that lime and get rid of the weeds. But as I mentioned, we don't have the horsepower for that. And they had this beauty. This is Aqualis. Now, I didn't look up what year it was. It's newer than anything we have, but certainly still an older tractor. Now, it comes stock with 225 horsepower, but this one's been worked on apparently and has close to 300 horsepower under the hood. So they assure me it will have no issue with this disc harrow. So what they're going to do is they are giving me those two pieces of equipment to demo. Of course, they're hoping I'll buy one or both. But that's what we're going to do after we take care of the grass. We're going to put those to work. So let me get back to the field and let's see if this is going to work out or if we have to do a forage harvester upgrade. Because there's actually 3 Claas harvesters in this pack. This is the oldest of the 3, but I tried the middle one as a test before and it worked just fine. So we may be forced to do a forage harvester upgrade. Does it seem like those tires are still falling through the map? It does. And that's what the upgrade was supposed to, or the update was supposed to fix. So I don't have high hopes for this working out, I'm afraid. So I'll tell you what, I will get this back to the farm. We'll give it a tester in the field. So we'll see you there. All right, guys, we're down here at the field, and I didn't even bother hooking a trailer up or anything because I figured I could test this without any fat. And so if we lower this header down and we try and turn, that's the result. Now, I think it actually might even be worse than last time. Actually, let me try one other thing. I found that if I turn slow, it worked better. Yeah, that's still the case. But if you try and turn at any kind of like speed, yeah, I think it is the tires falling through because it looks like it wants to turn and then it stops. But anyways, what I did last time is I brought in a newer version of this harvester from the same pack and it worked just fine. So let me do some testing. I'll find a harvester that works and then we'll come back here and we'll talk about the financial implications of what we had to do. So I'll catch up with you in just a minute. Well, there we go, guys. I did change out our forage harvester. Now this is from that same pack. Our old harvester, or our previous one, was from the early 90s to the mid 90s, and this one is from the mid 90s to the early 2000s. We do gain a little bit of horsepower and we gain a longer pipe, which meant I think I should be able to put the proper silage extensions on this trailer and it should work. Now, I decided that we do this at basically no cost to us, just make an exchange, because it really shouldn't be falling through the floor like that, and there was an update to prevent that. but it didn't take. So that's what I decided. You can let me know if you have any heartburn with that, because I did keep track of the money. I know what the financial benefit to us was exactly. So we can correct for that if anybody thinks it's unfair. But let's jump in this thing. Get her fired up here. I don't think we need beacons. Now, I never tested an actual mowing operation, so let's give that a try here. Yes, I figured it would load in that trailer no problem. The other one was just low enough that it caught the top lip, you know, when you went over bumps in the field, and it would stop loading. And I had to do a little shenanigans so we could use it, but this is nice. I think we will be, I think we'll have to hire, purchase, or lease one of these headers, because I think we'll be using it a fair bit. Now, I wanted to talk about that tractor we have on demo, and it is exactly that for right now. I was planning on using that tractor down the road a little bit, not too far off, but when we put precision farming in. But I'm experiencing that same fall through the floor issues with the 9190, particularly when I drive it on road. It falls onto its rim pretty frequently, and you're going bouncing down the road. And so I've got that one in. We're going to try it. We'll do a couple jobs with it, and if it doesn't have that issue, then I think we'll likely keep it. We'll adjust the finances accordingly, but if it's got the same fall through the floor issues, then we won't bother. This is working good. I think this was pretty much got the same interior as the previous one. The next version up, it's got a more modern interior in it. Now I'm going to do a test. I'll do a save. I'll throw some digestate on here and see if we get penalized for that. And if we do, then we'll just have to go and put solid fertilizer on. So much handier when you can turn. Oh, we got a little ways to go yet. Looks like we're missing a little bit here and there, though, for some reason. I don't recall it doing that last time, but it is running nice and smooth along the ground. There's no indication that our tires are falling through the floor. I did a little test run on the highway with it as well, and it seemed good there as well. There we go, first load. Now we should throw our beacons on here for when we cross the road. Oh, well, there we go, a flat tire. I think if I say no here, I can jump out and we can actually take a look. None of the tires look flat. I assumed it was on the harvester. Huh. I have had that happen before, and I jumped out and the tire definitely looked flat. Yeah, it definitely seemed like it was a harvester. It just didn't look flat that time. Obviously a PC only script mod where you get occasional flat tires. I think you're maximized 2 a year, I think it was. You can have a maximum of 2 a year, so it doesn't go crazy on you. Now I believe this is the trailer what I had a little trouble getting it to unload. It was a little finicky. We will turn this on so we can see when we're over the trigger. Oh, guess I gotta be on the trailer. There we go. That'll help. Right, well, I'll carry on. I'll get these 2 fields done. Then at that point, we'll go down and we'll grab that demo tractor and we'll do a little disking. So I'll catch up with you then. Well, there we go, guys. The grass has all been harvested and this setup worked perfectly. So we'll keep it around. Of course, all except for this header. I rented it again, so I need to get that cleaned up and returned. But you know what? I'll do that a little bit later. Right now, we're going to get a ride to the shop and let's pick up our demo equipment and give it a spin. So I'll meet you down at the shop. All right, we got our gear hooked up. Let's start heading her home. Now, if this tractor doesn't have the fall through the floor issue, we will keep it. I was planning on adding this tractor at some point in the game because it can have crop sensors on it when we do precision farming. It just wasn't quite this point, quite this early. But the reason we would buy this versus like we did with the harvester where we replaced it at no cost is because we replaced the harvester. We got rid of the old one, got this new one because the old one wasn't working quite right. We're not replacing the 9190. The 9190 is going to stay. It's not going anywhere. It still seems to work okay when you're using it with course play. It seems to be when you're driving it personally. And kind of the reason we're running down the road is the road seemed to be the worst place for it. So far so good for this one. We are going to do a cinematic of disc harrowing our field, but I will give it a good test because we need to seed it afterwards, and I'll do that with this tractor, and then after that we'll decide if we'll keep it around. I do have a loan out for it, but I kept track of what the down payment was, so if we keep it we just need to subtract that money and it's already ours. Alright guys, well I'll get to the field and we'll kick it right off with the cinematic, so sit back and enjoy the ride. Well, there we go, guys. Job is done. It looks like the shop didn't lie. It looked like that disc harrow did a pretty nice job. I've got that folded up here. We'll jump out and take a close look. Yeah, that looks like a really nice seed bed. That's a pretty nice implement, although it should be for 75 grand. Maybe in the future, if it shows up used, we might think about investing in that, because we only would need it like occasionally when I get out of sync with my lime spreading and we need to make a good seed bed. This beastie worked pretty darn good, and even though it's been tuned like to 300 horsepower, it still grunted going up this hill, and it's not a very significantly steep hill, but I think the horsepower requirement on this was like 260, 270. We're a little bit ahead, but not a crazy amount. But I am going to get this seated and rolled off camera, and again I'm going to use this tractor, and I'm going to drive this implement back to the shop, and if it works without going through the map, then I think we'll invest it and we'll go ahead and buy it. But before we do that, I'm going to ask the shop if they'll paint this Alice orange, because that looks awfully close to red to me. So I might go in Giants Editor and see if I can change that to the traditional Alice orange for our farm. But anyways, that is it for this episode. We are out of time. I hope you did enjoy that cinematic, by the way. Should be a bit of a longer one because I was just about done and the gulls showed up, so I threw a couple extra shots in there with the seagulls. But anyway, if you're still with me, I really appreciate you watching. And if you haven't already, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And if you want to see when other content like this lands, hit that old notification bell. But for this episode, it's Farmer Murphy signing off.